Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So today I wanted us to have a discussion about Raven and Adam's fighting styles. I thought I'd go a little into that and kind of in-depth of talking about how their style works, what it's about, and what it originated from. So I thought this would be a good thing to kind of inform you all a little bit of their fighting style. So sit back, relax, I hope you all enjoy, and let's go ahead and just jump on into this discussion. So, Adam and Raven both have a very similar fighting style, in which you may have noticed a couple of previous videos I've had in the past. I have actually discussed a little bit about this, and the style is actually called Aido. So, Aido, it is a Japanese martial art that emphasizes being aware and capable of quickly drawing the sword and responding to a sudden attack. So it's kind of like a counter attack if you think about it. Because if you look at the way that Adam has done this, it's a defensive style if you look at it, because he's actually used this in ways that seem more defensive than it really has offensive. Now, Aido is associated with the smooth, controlled movements of drawing the sword from its scabbard, or asaya, striking and or cutting an opponent, removing blood from the blade. Now, of course, the blood from the blade part may sound very reminiscent, because when this actually occurred in Volume 3, if you pay close attention, whenever Adam actually cuts off Yang's arm, if you pay very close attention to the tip of his blade, you will actually see him make a swinging motion with his arm, and a little bit of the blood actually comes off of the blade. And then, of course, once the blood is removed from the blade, then they replace the sword in the scabbard. Now, of course, going on to the purpose of Aido. Aido encompasses hundreds of styles of swordsmanship. So that means it has several different styles put within it, which is actually very interesting that it has several different uses. Aido is also a reflection of the morals of the classical warrior, and to build a spiritually harmonious person possessed of high intellect, sensitivity, and resolute will. Now, when you think about it, Adam himself, obviously, he had a will of one thing, which was a spiteful will. But if you think about it, it actually is kind of reminiscent of this. Now, of course, if you also look at Aido, for the most part, it is performed solo as an issue of kata, executing changed strategies against single or various enemies. And not only this, but every kata starts and finishes with the sword sheathed. So when you see Adam, for example, or when you see Raven, they both have their blade sheathed in the very beginning. And once they are finished, they sheath their blade back. Now, of course, this then obliges creative ability and fixation to keep up the inclination of a genuine battle and to keep the kata new. Now, Iodoka are regularly prescribed to practice kendo, to safeguard that battling feel. So, of course, they do this to keep up their battle prowess, so that they can keep their skills handy and very strong. And of course, it is normal for a high positioning kendoka to hold high rank in Aido and the other way around. So in order to appropriately perform the kata, which is very difficult, Aidoka likewise learn to develop and hold their swing. So they hold the swing of the blade, and at times Aidoka will practice accomplice kata like kendo or kenjutsu kata. Now, of course, Aido itself also has moral and religious influence to it as well, and this is basically the aspects in Aido have been influenced by several philosophical and religious directions. So Aido is a blend of the ethics of Confucianism, methods of Zen, and the philosophical Taoism. So if you actually look at this, it also has the purification rites of Shintoism and the aspects of Bushido. So if you actually look at the style, the sword style has a lot of influence behind it. There are a lot of things actually behind the style, but there's one thing I want to bring up when it comes to Raven. Raven has a bit of a different style when it comes to Adam. So if you look at the blade that Raven uses, hers is more in a great sword style than Adam's. Adam's has more of a katana-like style. Now, if we look at how they actually have fought, of course, Raven's kind of not being shown entirely, considering that she is more so actually fought with her maiden powers when she did fight, but from what we have seen, she has more of a standard style. So her sword style is more standard, so it's a different type of Aido than what Adam actually has. Aido for Adam is more like the older standard version, which is the more defensive type, the more calm reserve type, when Raven is more of the offensive type. Because if you pay attention to when Adam has fought, he has been more on the defensive. He has not really been aggressive other than him attacking Blake, but that's totally different. But when you've actually looked at the styles, look at Raven's style. Raven has actually been more offensive. She has actually jumped to the attack rather than she has the defense. Now, Adam, on the other hand, he seems to have a more defensive style, but it actually copes a little better with him because he actually has his Semblance Moon Slice, which, of course, he takes in the energy of attacks and makes them stronger and then attacks back with them. So his defensive style actually is a little more justified, but if you actually look at the way that he does this, he's actually a pretty powerful individual on his own, and he definitely has a lot of speed to his advantage. Now that goes the same for Raven. Raven is a speedy individual as well, but with her strikes, she jumps to the attack, and she's actually very calm with it. See, that's the thing about Raven is Raven has been calm and preserved with her attacks, and she does think them through. Now, Adam has too, but Volume 5 was totally different for Adam. He didn't really think that one through, but then again, he was under pressure at that point. But the Iato style should have actually kept him under calm emotions rather than giving into pressure, which is kind of strange for Adam, considering that he has an Iato style also. But then again, I guess maybe the pressure was too much for him, that he was afraid he was going to lose or get captured or even die, and I guess that kind of gave in there. But if you look at the styles, though, with Raven's great sword-like style, which we actually do get to see a little bit of it with her maiden powers, and that's actually when she forms the blade. But another thing I want to bring up that doesn't even have to do with the maiden powers, that Raven actually has to do with her blade, is kind of an Iato style when she actually switches her blades out for the dust that she's using them. Raven puts her blade back in the sheath, which is very interesting to note, because when she puts it back in the sheath, she then takes it back out for another blade of dust, which will be a different element of dust if she needs to. I find this to be a very interesting thing, because if you actually look at when she does these sort of things, it's actually cool to actually see that she does like the Iato style, where she puts the blade back in and then takes it back out. So I think that's actually a very cool thing and a very good take on the Iato style. I actually really appreciate that we get to see that that's kind of like a take on Iato whenever she actually does this. So it's very interesting to see that there are multiple different styles, and of course, looking at Raven and her style, looking at Adam and his style, they both have very interesting, unique ways of fighting. They both are different in their own ways, but it's also similar. And I have to say that I really like that this is a throw-on to the Iato style. And it's very interesting because I thought that teaching you all about the Iato style, I thought that you might actually like to know about Raven and Adam's style, what it's based upon, and what the idea and what the symbolism is behind the Iato style. So I thought you all might find that to be interesting, because I thought it was myself. But anyways, let me know what you think down below. Do you like the Iato style? Let me know what you think down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and share this with your friends if you found this informative or useful. Well, anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.